if you want to take fully advantage of the New Year's rush, I'm going to show you a framework we use to make sure we get an incredible amount of lead flow during this time period of the year. It's going to be extremely straightforward and simple to understand, but if you understand what I'm going to show you, you're going to 2 to 3x the lead flow you're going to get during this time of the year, which is extremely important to nail. So stick around because it's extremely important. Gabriel here, we help gym owners to systematize client acquisition and get them to 7 figures and above. Now that you know who I am and what I do, I'm going to show you the hierarchy of testing we do to make sure we optimize ad campaigns for our clients and partners so that they can go ahead and get the best results possible. The reason why I'm so excited about this video is because when you're going to be able to do that, whoever it is that's watching, whether you are doing 8K per month, whether you are doing 30, 50, or you are even doing 100 and you want to really scale this gym and make sure you nail this time period of the year, is going to be applying for every single person that's watching this video, because this is a systematic process that you can use whatever it is that you are doing. So I'm extremely excited to share that with you. So it's a process that dissected into 6 steps, and they are actually classified by order of importance. So we are going to be starting with the most important one, which is going to be the offer. Some people have drilled down this idea into your head, and they were damn right, because the offer is by far the most important thing you should be testing in your ad. Because I can tell you, if the offer is not enticing enough, I'm not going to click. And I can tell you that we've tested this 100,000 of times. You can see that in all the different things in history, campaigns that work. You can even go back to the newspaper days. Like all those times, each and every single time that an offer made some huge bang, it was because the offer was incredible. So this is not something that you are going to have the occasion to test, but I can guarantee you that the crazier you make it, the better. This is the offer. Make sure they do go ahead and perceive whatever you are offering as valuable. So this is more in the pre-making of the ads and making sure that we have something that we know is going to be working. Ideally, you have a proven system, a proven offer. We have some videos about that, but ideally you take your proven offer and then you're going to be testing things in a sequence, all right? So first you're going to go ahead and you're going to test number 2, audience. So, okay, you have your audience. You see that you're advertising to men. You see that you're advertising to women. I would advise you to create different ad sets in your Facebook Ad Manager. So as you can see on the Facebook Ad Manager, let's say this is your campaign, which we're going to simply represent by a C. Then you have your ad sets, which we are going to be representing by AS. All right. So you have 2 assets, let's say, and then you're going to have your ads. So I'm just going to do simple dots so you can make it simple. But yeah, you've got, let's say you have 3 creatives per ad set. One of the things that you should be testing first is, okay, who responds to my ads the most? Some people is going to be women, some is going to be men. Usually we see that women tend to be working a bit better, but it also depends a lot on the situation. That's why I'm giving you this hierarchy of how you should be testing things so that you know what to focus on. But first things first, I will see, okay, who performs the best, all right? Because we can go ahead and go into the creative and all the things that go down the line, but which we are going to be. But if you're serving a good creative to an audience that just don't want your great offer, well, it doesn't matter, all right? So the second thing you should be testing is, okay, is this like which age range? What are the things that you can play with this? You can play with age, you can play with gender, all right? You can also play with locations as well. How far do you go from the gym? Things like this. I wouldn't play with interest. A lot of people tell you guys to play with interest. I wouldn't play with that. Just keep it broad. Just play with those 3. I would say that's going to be your best bang for your buck. All right. Then the next thing is going to be your creative. Then next you have your creative. All right. So what is your creative? It can be your image. It can be your video. It can be your slideshow, whatever it is that you decide to use. So you got to understand something. Right now, you are interrupting people. If you are doing Facebook ads, you are interrupting people when they are scrolling. So if you think about this, they are getting constant dopamine hits from the feed that they are on, and you are interrupting them. The purpose of your creative is not to get them to book an appointment or anything. It's just to make them stop, all right? So realize this. As I mentioned, they are getting a ton of dopamine hits from watching some content. You gotta make sure that whatever it is that you put in front of them, it makes them stop. This looks like something I should be taking a look at because it's more interesting. It's gonna provide me a higher likelihood of providing me a dopamine hit than the things I'm watching right now. So the only thing your creative should be doing is making sure you get them to take a look further. That's a simple goal. Now you can test In your creative, then you have, I would say, subcategories, which I'm not going to go into that too much, but I would say if I go, yeah, I'm going to go into it quickly. But in your creative, first of all, what I would say is first, okay, which type of creatives works better? Does images work better? Typically, that's what we see. All right. So if you see images work better, then you go ahead and you test different images. But first, I would say test images against videos. Like find the type of creative that works the best, and then go ahead and test those different types of creatives. Well, those different creatives by themselves against each other. That's really the way it works. After you go ahead and you test the creative, you go a level deeper. Actually, I think it's 7. It's not 6. Sorry for that, but yeah, that's how you test those things out. Next level that you're going to be testing is going to be your headline. All right. So you have your headlines. So this is going to be something that's you have your creative on your ad right here. You have your caption, your copy right here. This is your copy, and then your headline is going to be here. All right. So this is the second thing that's getting the attention of the people. So that's where usually it's pretty simple. You make sure that it represents your offer the best, and kind of as you mentioned, you have your image. You do like, okay, this is an image. You have your image that's calling your attention, and then you go ahead and check the headline. Like, oh, actually, it's really interesting. Let me take a look at the copy a bit because it looks interesting. So that's the way it works. Now, how to make a good headline? It's really simple, actually. You just have to say the name of your offer and ideally describe a bit more of what it is. So in some cases, maybe what you offer is a bit more complex and requires a bit more, but I would say make it as short and sweet as possible. Because if it's like shorter bits, longer, honestly, especially on headlines. So make it short, make it punchy, and make sure that it represents the value that they're going to be getting, the thing they're going to be providing. For example, let's say you're offering a free trial. You say free personal session, free personal training session. All right, free personal training sesh. Simple. And you can put some emojis into that, like, hey, I'm happy, cool, and some flames, or some flexes, like, oh, this is going to be off. Oh, sorry for that. Sorry for that. But yeah, you can put some emojis like this. Works pretty well as well to get the attention of people. But yeah, test the headline, and sorry for the weird emojis. Now, after the headline, you can go ahead and test your copy. So that's going to be, what is your copy actually? Your copy is going to be your caption. This is going to be the thing that's here, that if they click, there should be a little button approximately around here to see, hey, see more. And then it's going to make this portion right here a bit bigger and actually put your whole copy and basically, yeah, giving more details about what the offer is about. I would say in the copy, make sure, I'm going to give you a few pointers on copy. Number one, start by calling out the audience, okay? So you call them out saying, hey, for example, women of New York. That's a call out. Or if you are advertising to a county or anything like this, make sure that you go ahead and you put the right area they feel they belong to. That way it's going to be, oh, it's for me actually, cool. And it's a woman as well. So yeah, you segment that between the different genders and all this. Next thing I would say that you guys should be really aware of is making sure that you go ahead and you explain a bit more about the offer. Make it sweet, make it simple, but don't go into too many details, because one of the reasons they actually want to go ahead and, well, go to the gym is because they're curious. So don't take that away from this part of the process. So make sure you have some curiosity. That's one of the biggest mistakes I see you guys make. One of the biggest mistakes I see you guys make at this step as well is that you talk too much about features. Don't talk about features. They don't care if they are going to get some programming that's out of this world. They don't care. They just want to see how you're going to get them to their goal. And how do you show them you get them to their goals? You don't talk about features. You do talk about benefits. That's not a B. What am I doing? Benefits. Yeah, so make sure to go ahead and you talk about benefits, not about features. And it's extremely important because it's the difference between, for example, let's say you're selling a weight loss program. Instead of talking about the fact, oh yeah, we're going to create a nutritional program that's perfectly, the macros are going to be perfectly set for you to get the optimal amount of weight loss. You don't say that. You say, we're going to create you a simple weight loss plan so that you can go ahead and lose the pounds that you gained during the holiday season. So simple. Talk about the benefits and how it's going to get them to their goals. Extremely important, because you're going to lose a lot of people here if you do this mistake. So make sure you don't do this one. So those I would say are the main ones. Two little ones you can test, which are not really important, but I'm just going to give them to you for the sake of, well, making sure you understand the whole process and how we go about testing things. The next one is going to be the description, okay? So the description is usually, you don't even see it on most devices, but I'm going to show you where it is. It's something that usually comes right below the headline and says a few words right here. Usually if your headline is pretty complete, it's not going to even show up because it's in the same little like space that the headline is in, but you can test a few ones of those. It's usually when, for example, you have a short title like another 10-day free pass, and I think even that is too long, but let's say for example's sake this is. If they want to know a bit more about that and the offer requires a bit more explaining on what it is, you can add a little line right here that explains a bit more what it is about so that it gives them more of an incentive to go ahead and sign up. Or you can say, well, one cool thing that you can be saying in this description could be, hey, 20 spots left, something like this. I would say that's even better. Go ahead and use something like this because you're going to create some urgency, you're going to create some scarcity. I would say that's going to give you better results than just simply descripting whatever it is that they are having further. Of course, if you need to, use it, but I would say if you have always some the occasion to use some scarcity and urgency, use that every single day of the week. What it looks like on this side, you've got a description, and then I would say the last thing you can test, which is not really important, but it's also a thing that you can be testing last thing you can be testing is a call to action. As you may know, next to the headline right here, you should be having a button that say, hey, like sign up or something like this. You can test if sign up or there is learn more. You can also test which one the one quite well. You also have download or free press, something like this. Test a few ones to see what works. And the thing is, there are no really real answers to this, and that's why I love this video so much that I just made for you, because I can tell you, okay, take some images or take some videos or use this headline, but the thing is, it's going to be depending on your whole situation. So telling me just do this and follow this playbook, I'm going to give you a disservice. But by giving you the hierarchy of how we test things and how we go about doing things, then, well, you know how to get the best results for your situation. All right. So this is how we go about testing the ads and testing and making sure that we go ahead and get the best results for our ads, for our partners. By the way, if you do struggle with getting consistent client acquisition, like making sure you solve that client acquisition problem and getting a consistent amount of growth on your memberships, well, there is a link in the description. You can follow this little arrow and click it or not. Honestly, I don't really mind. I just want to tell you that I'm grateful and I appreciate the fact that you spend this time with me today on learning some stuff that, well, not a lot of people are going to bother learning. But if you do, you're going to see incredible results. By the way, don't forget to subscribe, put a like. That's going to recommend you more videos like this. That's going to help you to grow your business. And I want to thank you again for your time. Appreciate it. And I'm going to see you on the next one.